The Grand Conclave of the Seven Empires had never agreed on anything before. In 500 years of interstellar politics, the Valorian Dominion had always opposed the Keth Collective. The Zari theocracy had never signed any resolution co-authored by the Dawn Syndicate. Ancient grudges, older than starships, ran deep between the Mrex and the Ocean Federacy. And the Pale Communion, cold, silent, calculating, had vetoed every single motion ever brought before the conclave floor. Until today. Delegate Joe of the Valorian Dominion was first to place his crest seal on the resolution. Delegate Me of the Keth Collective followed without even waiting for the traditional pause. Delegate New York of the Zari theocracy recited a short prayer and pressed her glowing thumbprint into the document. Delegate De of the Dawn Syndicate grinned his sharp merchant's grin and signed. Delegate Yi of the Mrex bowed his four-jointed frame and marked the page. Delegate High of the Ocean Federacy signed without blinking. And then, for the first time in recorded conclave history, Delegate Wa of the Pale Communion raised a single pale limb and pressed the seal of approval. 7 Empires. 7 Signatures. Resolution 7 Alpha, Authorization of Terminal Military Strike against the Human Alliance. The chamber erupted. Every species present buzzed, clicked, sang, or shrieked in the unique sound their species made when surprised by history. Every empire approved. Every empire except one. Adrian stood in the center of the conclave floor. He was, by any galactic measure, unremarkable. No armor. No ceremonial robes with bioluminescent threading. No entourage of fearsome escort drones. He wore a plain gray coat, scuffed boots, and carried nothing but a slim data tablet. He was also the only human in the room, the sole envoy of the Human Alliance, a civilization the rest of the galaxy had, until 40 years ago, not even known existed. They had found humanity by accident, following a stray radio signal into an unremarkable star system. They had expected animals. They had found engineers. They had expected surrender. They had found curiosity. And now they had expected silence. They had found Adrian. He waited until the celebration of the signing quieted. It took longer than he expected. Then he cleared his throat. I would like to formally register the Human Alliance's rejection of Resolution 7 Alpha, he said. His voice was calm. Almost bored. The chamber went quiet in an entirely different way. Delegate Joe leaned forward. Envoy. You are the subject of this resolution. You cannot register a rejection. You are here only as a courtesy. That's an interesting interpretation, Adrian said. He looked down at his tablet, scrolled once. Conclave Charter, Article 14. Clause 9, any party named as a primary subject of a resolution affecting their sovereignty retains the right of formal rejection, which must be entered into the record and argued before the vote is considered binding. I'd like to argue. Silence. Delegate Me clicked her commissary. You memorized our charter? We studied it, Adrian said simply. We've been studying it since your scout ship first hailed us. We've had 40 years. Humans, we rid. He said it like it was nothing. Like it was obvious. May I? Empress Lyra of the Pale Communion watched from her elevated dais at the far end of the chamber. She was ancient by human reckoning, nearly 600 years, though she bore no visible weight of time. Her species did not age the way meat creatures did. She had pale silver skin, for long arms folded neatly across her chest, and eyes that reflected light like still water. She had signed was proxy seal herself. She had not expected this. She had signed because the math was simple, humanity was expanding. Humanity built fast, adapted faster, and did not die when they were supposed to. A species that had gone from first radio transmission to faster-than-light travel in 400 years, that was not a species to leave alone at your borders. So, elimination. Clean. Decisive. Before humanity became inconvenient. She had not expected their envoy to invoke Article 14, Clause 9. She found herself leaning forward, just slightly, to hear what he would say. Adrian set his tablet flat on the podium and looked up at the room. "You're afraid of us," he said. Delegate sputtered. "Afraid? We have signed." "You have signed because you are afraid," Adrian said, cutting through. "Not of what we've done. Of what you think we might do." He paused. "You found us 40 years ago. In those 40 years, have we attacked a single conclave member? Silence. Have we raided shipping lanes? Seized colonies? Issued territorial ultimatums?" He looked at each delegate in turn. "Joe, the Valorian patrol that entered our border zone in year 12. We could have destroyed them. We flagged them, transmitted a polite warning in your language, and escorted them out." He turned. "Me, the Keth mining operation that accidentally broke ground on the moon of Halley's 9, which is in our claimed territory. We sent engineers to help them finish the job and asked only for trade access in return." He kept going, delegate by delegate. "New York. Da. Yi. Hi." He named every incident. Every moment his people could have retaliated, escalated, drawn blood. "We didn't," he said. "Not once." Delegate New York's crest feathers rose. "That is not evidence of peace. That is evidence of patience. A predator also waits." "Yes," Adrian agreed. "But a predator doesn't share medical technology." He tapped his tablet. In year 22, when the Zari plague broke out on Communion border worlds that had just signed this same resolution, by the way, a human biotech team volunteered for the quarantine zone. 17 researchers. 4 of them died. His voice did not waver. They died for people who were planning to kill them. The chamber was very still. "We are not patient," Adrian said. "We are not hiding our nature. We are exactly what we appear to be. We are strange, loud, illogical, and we build things with our bare hands and call it good enough for now and then we make it better the next time." He almost smiled. "We are not a threat to you. But I will tell you, honestly and on the record, if you proceed with this resolution, if you bring your fleets to our borders." He let the silence stretch. "We will not surrender. We will not ask for terms. We will not go quietly." He picked up his tablet. "Humans don't do that. We never have. That's in your intelligence files too, if you read far enough." Empress Lyra stood. In 600 years, she had stood to speak in the conclave exactly 3 times. Every delegate in the room knew what it meant. The chamber fell to absolute silence. "Envoy," she said. Her voice was like water over glass. "You argue that your species is peaceful. But peace that has never been tested is not peace, it is merely the absence of opportunity." "Then test us," Adrian said. He looked directly at her. "Not with a fleet. Not with a resolution. Come to our worlds. Walk through our cities. Read our history, all of it, including the parts we're ashamed of, and there are many." He held her gaze. "We are not perfect. We have done terrible things to ourselves and to each other. We know what war costs. That's exactly why we chose, when we met you, to try something else." Lyra regarded him for a long moment. "And if we do not withdraw the resolution? Then you'll find out what a species that has been fighting itself for 10,000 years can do when it finally has a common enemy." The words were quiet. Factual. Not a boast. Just the truth, stated plainly. "I would rather you didn't find out. So would my people. That's why I'm standing here instead of a general." Another silence. The longest one yet. Empress Lyra of the Pale Communion, who had never once in 6 centuries reversed a position in public, turned to Delegate Wa. "Withdraw our seal," she said. The room exploded. Without the Pale Communion's signature, Resolution 7 Alpha failed the supermajority threshold. It died in the record and signed and unbound. Delegates Joe, me, New York, Day Yi, and Hai argued for 3 more hours. They threatened. They bargained. They invoked ancient precedents. None of it mattered. Adrian walked out of the conclave chamber into the pale alien light of the station's observation deck. He stood alone for a moment, looking out at the stars. His comm buzzed. A text message, no sender ID, routed through the Communion's private diplomatic channel. Why did you not mention your military capacity? Our intelligence suggests it is considerable. He typed back. Because that wasn't the argument that needed to be made. A long pause. Then. Curious creatures. Adrian pocketed the comm and looked back at the stars, at the small, unremarkable yellow sun burning steadily in the distance, around which a small, unremarkable blue planet turned. He smiled. Yeah, he thought. We are.